Yay, I'm here. So, a bit tired, but I'm here. Creating grooves is cool. Creating solid grooves is even better. That is today's video. Let's go do it right now. Hey, what's up? I'm in a little kitchen and thank you for checking out yet another video. This is your first time here? Welcome. Thanks for watching. Don't hesitate to click subscribe, hit that notification bell, and whenever I upload a new video, you'll be kept in the loop. You won't miss out on anything. Hang out till the end of the video. I'll tell you all about Discord, Patreon, tell you all about who the new channel members are and who the new patrons are, so stay tuned for that. The music that you're listening to right now is something that you can find on Bandcamp. There is a thing when you are working with a limited dollar setup like I am at the moment, that you don't have ample room for drums. I'm not using a drum computer at the moment, which is something that I might do in the future, but for now, I've dedicated one machine to do both the MIDI sequencing, the drums, and a little bit of sampling as well. So I've only used 4 tracks out of the 8 tracks on the Octatrack for drums. That means that with the 2 drum machines that I'm using to house the OB6 and the subsequent 37, that's only 2 channels that you've got left. Then there's 1 channel that I use as a master channel. So effectively, I only got 1 channel left. If you count it, 1, 2, 3, 4 drums, 5 sample, 6, 7 drum machine, 8 master. That's the Octatrack done. That means that you now need to place your bass or synth sounds in a rhythmical fashion so that it will help your groove. Now, this is a very strong and powerful addition if you know what to do. I will go in a little bit into sound design, so I will make something on the OB6 and place it in such a way in a groove so that you know how this works. This is not the be-all and end-all of do this and it will work all the time, but it will give you a general idea of how you can utilize percussive synth sounds to help your groove. Because in the end of the day, if you look at disco, you look at funk, if you look at reggae, most of the bass or rhythmical musical elements help the groove along. You know what I mean? In funk, listening to any James Brown record, it is a synergy between the bass player and the drummer. Those 2 are joined at the hip. Now, in a dollar setup, I've found that much of that routine, much of that philosophy holds true to how you can perform that as well. So I've been doing that a lot. So I will go in, make some sounds, stick them on a groove, and see if we can get some bouncy groove going. You ready for that? Yes, you are. Let's go get it. Okay, and we're rolling. Okay, gang. Pretty simple setup, as I told you. I've got a Typhon here, I've got the OB6, I've got the subsequent 37, and then the heart of the operation is the Octatrack. Now, I've got a simple groove, pretty much. Let's get out of the MIDI side of things. As I said, I'm only using 4 different tracks for sorting out my drums. So obviously, playing it, nothing will play because everything is, as I said, muted or not active. Kick drum, clap, right cymbal, some sort of a shaker hat. Now, going briefly over why I chose those drums is it'll make sense when I put it all together. The kick, obviously, thick round kick, because for this to work, and the rule of thumb here is that the more if you don't use a lot of tracks, why is this in frame? I don't know. Just went to the dentist. So because if you're using if you're not using a lot of drums, all the sounds need to be pretty thick. So everything needs to just like hold a big chunk of the frequency spectrum. So the more stuff you use, the smaller or thinner sounds you would use, obviously. Otherwise, you can't fit everything in the frequency spectrum. An analogy might be if you're painting or you're taking a picture and there needs to be a lot of people in the frame. Obviously, everybody needs to really squeeze together, otherwise it doesn't work. Now, so obviously, because I'm only using a few drums, namely 4, and not everything in the same frequency range, I start with a thick kick. this kick works. I can tell you this kick works because it's very thick. This kick consists of 3 sounds, even if you're listening closely. There's the, that's the letter D, that's the attack transient. Obviously there's the belly of the kick, and there's a little bit of a T letter, which is in the higher sort of like frequency range. So I think that if you got like a scope in front of you, I think that the majority of the energy is between, what is it, maybe it starts around 30 hertz and it just goes up until 80 to 100 hertz. That's and where the thud is. The belly of the kick is also there, and then the T is around, say, maybe 1 to 2K. So that's how this kick is working. Listen to it. Thick and chunky. Alright, so moving on. It sounds offbeat, but it's not offbeat, but it makes sense later on when I start to add some sounds to it. Why did I place it on this measure? Because I think that if you don't use a lot of drums, it's going to help you to have at least this work in such a way that it will give you a groove instantly. All right, bam, boom, bam. Okay, I'll skip over to track 4, because on track 4 there's my shaker head. This is instantly a hypnotic sort of like endless loop. It needs to be an endless loop. When I place the clap on the 2 and the 4, it's very predictable. Clap, boom, clap, which is a standard kind of groove, obviously, but I opted to go with a different sort of vibe. And then the right cymbal is there for adrenaline, because as you can hear with the shaker head, we've got high frequencies present, but we don't have a blanket of a high frequency present, and that's what we need for this to work. So now, as you can hear, I've also deliberately chose different sounds. The kick is a modern sound, whereas the right is an old school sound. The right is, if you know, is a 909 right cymbal, very renowned for techno. You can adrenalize anybody. The clap is a cross between an EDM kind of clap and a 909 clap. So it's a bit crushed, as you can hear. Crushed meaning there's a bit of distortion on this clap, so it's a processed sort of like clap. Now the reason I have processed the clap with a little bit of distortion, that means it will get transients that will work, and the harmonics start to play around with different elements of different sounds in a different frequency spectrum. Because listening to this shaker head, it's a shaker, almost like a brush, and this brush sound resembles a little bit of frequencies that are now present in the distorted clap. Listen. So they both live in the same street, probably not in the same house, but in the same street. So that's how it is. And then the right cymbal tops it off, yeah? But then, obviously, if you want to use a sound now extra, it means you have to sacrifice a channel for that. And I told you 1, 2, 3, 4 are drums, 5 is going to be a sample. In this case, it's going to be something of a roundabout. Not important for this track. Amazing track though, I tell you. Works well live. And then my subsequent place. But that's not today's video though. I mean, you can understand that this works. Now, if we were to take out the subsequent and we were to take out the sample on 5, then we are left with just drums. On track 9, which is the first of the MIDI tracks going over here, there's my OB6 already. Now what I've done, I'm not going to go to 9, I'm going to go to track 10, because then I've got the similar channel with also the OB6, but there's nothing played. So going in, you'll see that here there's, hey, what's going on here? Am I there? No, I'm on the MIDI. See, in the MIDI I could go in record mode so I can see if there's tracks played. There's no trigs being played. Now what I have done already is, let's do that again. If I'm playing, I'll initialize the sound here. So there's only one oscillator playing. So now I will start to go in like, what do I want for this sound? Now I love a bass kind of note, but I also like the sound to be a little bit more muffled. So what I will do is first check out the filter. This is on chromatic mode, by the way, so usually I'll put it in quick mute mode, so you can see again that track 5 is off where the sample was, track 11, which is track 3 here on the MIDI, is off, which is subsequent, and track 10 is the second OB6 channel. Track 9 is the first OB6 channel, first 8. So, and to complete the whole thing, track 6 is the OB6 through machine, 6 is the subsequent through machine, 7 is the OB6, and 8 is the master channel on which I've placed certain things. So that's my audio stuff done, right? Cool. But I will go in and I will say, let's go into chromatic mode because I want to play something. Let's play the drums. Now, the thing with groovy sounds to help your drums is, let's take out, for instance, I'll go here and I'll take out the clap, and I'll take out, yeah, let's just go for that basic groove. We'll go in back to our MIDI page. So we're, as I said, on the MIDI channel 2, or the second track dedicated to MIDI. And now we're going to see if when we play this, what can we play to add to the groove. Now, if I was to play something of an extra drum, I have my hat, clap, I've got my ride and my kick. What I would need most of the time is a tom. So a tom would play doom, 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 doom. So I'm thinking, okay, yeah, that's something that I could use. Let's just record it, yeah? Nice. So now I can go in and tweak the sound. Very dull sound. So, as you can hear, VCO 1 off. And also, to make it simple, I will go in and place my trigs only on 16 steps. Hoping that that double note wasn't there, but it is. So, get out of there. Get out of here. Okay, so what I'll do is this. I'll place it in bam, bam. I know that the first trig is the same as the second trig, but there's a double note that I played because I misplayed. So what I will do is hold this, copy this, go to the second one, paste it, and my mistake has perished and gone away. You can hear it now, yeah? Okay, doesn't matter. Now we're going to go in for a little bit of sound design. Let's go. We'll know where to place. I'm not going to play the kick because the kick is going to take away from where I want. So what I'm going to do is see if we can get this sound to be a little bit more, maybe round. So, place the filter on full, put a little bit of envelope on there. Hitting the mic. Sub-octave, there you go. Waveform. Length. There you go. Envelope. I'm going in for that subby kind of vibe, so I'll place a sub octave underneath. Let's save what we have so far. So now save, very simple. Right, bam, it's there, yeah? So that if I'm switching a sound, it's not gonna go in completely to a different sort of like, back in the preset mode. Nice, yeah? Let's place a kick underneath. Now, what I see that I don't like is that the first note is going to get swallowed up by the kick. So what I will do is, I've copied it already, but let's say, we're going to copy that note, yeah, place it here. So, copy this, bam, place it on the second one. Yeah, boom. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm thinking this. Okay, now that we have this, let's place another oscillator on there. Nice. Now what I'm going to do, take out the kick. Listen, this is the first oscillator. Second oscillator. So if this was on C, standard, I'm going to place the second oscillator on E, 3 steps up, so it starts to become a little bit more eerie. You hear? Now in order for this to work as a percussive element, I'm going to place some noise on the sound as well. Because now if I'm lowering the filter, nice, man. Nice one. Lower the noise a little bit. Nice one. I'm liking this. Now, of course, there's effects on this as well. It's pretty simple, but, you know, it's groovy, right? Listen to the rest of the drums. And because I'm not starting on the first of the measure, but the second beat after the kick, it's like, it's already making an infinite loop. And the infinite loop, that's where you want to be whenever you play this kind of stuff. Let's quick fast save it, because if I play now. Okay, what I will also do is I'll go in, I'll turn on my effects. There's a hole here. Let's go to the second effect. I'll turn it down. The first effect is off. The second effect is also off. So, okay, so there's no effects here. Let's see if we can place a little bit of a delay on there. The thing with the OB6 is it is very enthusiastic when it comes to delays or effect anyway. So the mix needs to be done moderately. This is CIA work, yeah? The better you do this, the less people need to find out about it. Now, I'm on 127 BPM, so let's go in and place the BPM on 127 as well. Helps. And then here are the measures for the effects. Now, what I'm going to do is get the first effect going, which is going to be a, what shall we say? A delay, yeah? DDL, digital delay. All right, so let's play it, see what happens. Let's save it first, because I know for a fact it's going to turn off. Nice one. Okay, so going over here, when you've got A selected, it means that if I'm turning this, I'm going to mix it a little bit. Turn this off. The right cymbal is a little bit on the loud side. There you go. Okay, now because I've got a call and response type of groove going, what I will do is play more notes on the MIDI page. See where we are. Okay, what I will do is I will go to chromatic mode. liking that. Okay, yeah, I'm liking this measure. Okay, now I'm going to put some swing on the whole thing because otherwise it's going to be a little bit too sparse. That delay is a little bit too much as well. Okay, so I'm on my swing page. I'm going to go and it's on 50 standard. I'll put it on 53, moderately because I need groove, but at the same time I don't want this thing to just like play around like it's Pinocchio on a string, you know what I mean? Nice. Get out of there, get out of there. Yep, play around with the frequency or at least the waveform of the second oscillator. There you go. Okay. I'm liking this. This is techno for you. Okay, go back out. Ah! And the thing that I've trained myself to do is I'm trying to keep it very, very simple. I don't want to go in too complicated like, oh, you know what? I mean, I know I've got an OB6. I know this thing can probably turn water into wine, but what I want from it is what I want from it, you know? So you can walk around with the biggest guitar ever. If you are trying to just show off that you've got like the biggest guitar ever, it's probably not going to work. What I want from this is to place a groove in this, because I know for a fact that when we get to clop time, we get to big sound system time, we get to kick in the butt time, it means I can now play this note around all the time and it will probably keep you on the floor before I need to place anything else in there. So, and obviously there's a lot of stuff that you can do with the Octatrack. I mean, what I do with the Octatrack, as you know, if you watch this channel, is I'm on quick move mode. I've got on the master, there's a filter on the master on FX1, which means that the filter, I've automated it so that if I'm opening up the crossfader, low will get taken out of the bass drum. At the same time, on FX2, there is a reverb. So if I'm playing this, I'm holding scene B, you can see that the timing, I don't know if you can make it out on the camera, but now all of a sudden the mix will go up. So the amount of how much is being sent into the effect and the timing that it takes is also going to drastically increase. So obviously you can then I'm liking that, you know? So it's a simple concept. Now this is something that I've trained myself to do because I've been in music school like for the majority of my life. And the thing is, if I start to play something, it will become cool and by the rules, but also very predictable. And the thing that I like about just step sequencing certain sounds and just sound designing things is what I want. Now I opted to go today with some sort of a techno kind of percussive sound, you know, obviously. So playing the sound in solo, what have we made? I mean, all right, let's go in quick mute mode. No, we're gonna go into chromatic mode. Lower. I'm liking that. That's great. Going in a certain direction, this is always going to help you out. But I like the fact that this does what I want it to do, you know? And the thing with the OP6 is very simple. You just go in, find a sound that you like, or tweak something, and it will just like be a cool thing to do. Now, I've got this synthesizer a few weeks. I'm not saying like I'm Hans Zimmer here, but in the end of the day, it's a cool thing to just like, you know, work something simple into this live set. Now, I'm loving this. Let me know how you do your things. There's obviously 50 million things that I could have done. But for now, I just wanted to show you on the simple aspect on how to create sounds that can act as drum sounds. Now that we've made the sound, say, you know what? Let's go in and say we're going to make it even simpler. So all the tricks are gone. I've deleted what I've played. And now, let's see, maybe something. Yeah, so simple. Of course. Okay, so I need a longer sequence. Go in, bam. Now I've got the double thing, yeah? So instead of 16 steps, I've got 32 steps. Get out of there and then record. What did we play? Alright, cool. Simple. Get out of there. Okay, see where we are? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and back. And 4, 2. Let's play it again. Nice. So, the thing with the way I program my groovy notes, I'm trying to just cross over different elements into my music. This is a soca or, you know, South American kind of rhythm. And in the end of the day, if you play that with a drum, then everybody says, well, that's not techno. That's more of a South American kind of rhythm. But when you place it with some sort of a sound that can do something different, all of a sudden it becomes something really different, yeah? Okay, check it out. Kick in, right out. Again, simple, you know what I mean? But you can now see possibilities of what you can do with it, you know what I mean? Now that I've got a different, simpler, much easier to follow rhythm, let's see if we can place a little bit more effect on there. So we had the delay, which plays, but it's a little bit in the background, right? So we'll go to a different measure. Nice, okay, am I exaggerating it right now? And on the second one, let's see where we can find a different effect. Let's turn off the drums. Phaser. No. Plate reverb. Yeah. Makes it a little bit more eerie even. And it makes the sound stand out a little bit more when we're playing the filter a little bit lower. You gotta like this, man. You know what I mean? I'm liking that. Getting into the zone. Getting into the groove. Alright. Listen what happens if I'm playing this groove right here. Let's write and save it, and we'll go in. Nice one. Very mysterious, spooky maybe a little bit. I'm liking it though. Come on, man, you gotta like it. And that's the way I look at all my synths. So if the Typhon was to play something, it would be a counter rhythm or something to play extra. And then I use the subsequent as longer notes that I will place on top of what I have already. And that's the way I've built it up. Because if I'm doing this live and I'm coming up with this stuff on the fly, which is what happens sometimes, not every time, but I've got certain patterns already with something as a sort of like idea of where I want the track to go, and other patterns are empty. So that when I'm playing live and I feel confident enough and you know the vibe hits me, I can just go like, okay, let's play something. And then it's easy to just it's manageable, and it's very easy to find out what is what does what, and I'm liking it. You know what I mean? This is something that I'm going like, okay, let me know if this is something that you dig. I know it's not rocket science, but in the end of the day, I do think a lot of people just are suffering with getting an idea going. This was very, very, very simple. Then again, it doesn't need to be more complicated, right? So this is my idea of getting some notes going. I can go on, but I hope that you see what the idea was, right? So try and go a little bit in the direction of a square wave, because that you got a lot of transients that you can bury within the frequency, so it stands out a little bit more. Because obviously going for a triangle or a saw wave, it will do different things, but it will get bassy very quickly. And what you would want is for this to not mess about with the Typhon, where there's a lot of bass sounds in there as well, or with the subsequent. So I'm trying to get a frequency window going, and in this case I'm only going with the one machine. So I've got something, there's collaborations coming up with other YouTubers, and the thing that we're going to do is we're going to just like do exactly as I did. Can you come up with a 4-track beat, just 4 tracks dedicated to drums and one sound, and see if you can make a track out of that. So this is coming up. Lifting the veil a little bit. All right, guys. The other guy will tell you all about Discord, Patreon, and all that good stuff. And me, I am in the zone. So what do you think? I think that works. If you've got a different way of working it, please let me know in the comment section below, because I'm very, very curious to see how that works out for you. You know what I mean? I'd like to welcome Fraser Jacks and Stephen Edmondson as my new patrons for this week. And I'd like to welcome Modern Musician as my new channel member. There's channel memberships on the channel as well. So apart from Patreon, you can also enlist and become a channel member. If you want to know more, I will tell you there's something that I have been working on. Go to analogcourses.com. I've actually created some DAWless courses. It's going to be a learning platform where you can enroll right now. I'm still developing the course as we speak. And the thing is, most of the questions and most of the topics that I am addressing is stuff that we get to discuss in our community. I'm also doing a lot of stuff, working on that mixer. We're actually just like plodding along, getting there slowly but surely. So we're, talking to the patrons. So after this video, there's going to be a video after party. If you want to be enlisted, go to Patreon and hook yourself up there, and then the slightly higher tiers get access to the chat. Also talking about modular synthesis, we're talking about how to travel with your gear, live performances, jams. You know, there's challenges there. There's a lot of stuff that I do on Patreon, but not so much on Patreon, more on Discord. The connection between the two is amazing. So it's a lively community. It's really, really. I hope that you found all this information useful. It was something that I ran into when I started, you know, trying to get from A to B fast and efficiently as well. And the thing that we tend to do as DAWless people is bring more gear. You know, you bring more synths, you bring more drum computers, you bring more pedals, and that's cool. If you're building a DAWless home studio, then obviously it's the coolest thing in the world. If you're like me performing and you need to just like reproduce what it is that you're making, the problem starts in that you're getting more gear and you get lost sometimes. And performance need to be as simple, or at least as concise as you possibly can in order to work things in your favor. So that's why I was thinking, you know, can certain tasks be hopped over to different machines? So where a synthesizer would be doing synth duties, obviously, in your electronic orchestra, and then now do something else. Now, this is my philosophy. Let me know in the comment section below if that's your preferred way of working, or you got another way of working. Find the music on Bandcamp, and guess that's that. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far into the video, you are an absolute superstar. I guess I'll catch you next week. You know where. On another video. And Little Kitchen